And now we return to our regularly scheduled program featuring Memo. In case you didn't get it, his name is Guillermo. Get, get the memo. Okay, whatever.
I want to go back to what you were saying about the men's role.
Yeah.
So I just question, is it a woman's issue? I mean, she didn't get pregnant without a man. So it's not like men aren't part of the equation. Of course we are. So we at least, quote unquote, have a say in it. Now, about the men's role, I wanted to share this story. I really enjoy sharing this story because I was seriously behind enemy lines at my Cal State. I was taking a Chicano feminism class.
Oof.
Oh,
gosh.
boy, oh,
Sorry to
boy.
hear that.
What was I doing?
That's a whole other story. I mean,
A whole other
like
story.
that.
I'll share more on that on a different occasion. We presented on some contemporary issue. We were put into groups presenting on a contemporary issue. Abortion was going to be one of them, and it was. So this group of women, there was only 3 guys in the class, and more than 20 women, more or less. So a group of women presented. They presented on abortion. They made their point. Q&A. Okay, any questions? And yeah, I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I raised my hand, and they said, okay. And I said something I shouldn't have, or at least I could have wiggled my way around my point better. And I basically asked, what about the baby's rights? What about the baby? Blah, blah, blah. And you know, I lost them. I lost them immediately. They didn't really answer my question, and so I asked them, "Let me ask you something. It might sound like a stupid question. Just answer it. What's the point of birth control? What's the end game of birth control?" And they said, to avoid pregnancy. All right, that's the point. That's the goal. We want to avoid pregnancies. Cool. If that's the end game, which it is, then there's something else that birth control just doesn't cut. Something that, if we really didn't want to have a baby, if we really don't want to risk having a baby, there's something that we can do that works 100% of the time. It is completely free, and okay, I said it works all the time. What is it that we can do to really achieve this goal of not having a baby? Abstinence.
Yeah.
That is when they exploded. The whole class absolutely exploded. Everyone was talking and basically yelling all at the same time. They were so loud, I couldn't hear what they were saying. I caught a couple of things. One person said, "What if we want to have sex?" And somebody else said, "No, you know, sex doesn't have to be for procreation. It could be for sport. It could be for fun. It could be for this and that." And but point being, look, if we want to avoid pregnancies, this is the best way to do it. If that's what we really want, therefore, we know, no, we don't really want to avoid pregnancy. What we want is something else. We want to be able to have sex and get away with it.
Well, one of the things that we need to do as Catholics and Christians is make it sexy, if I dare say, to take up our position, to take up our lifestyle, right? I mean, we're talking about virtue. We're talking about natural law. One thing that might be helpful to contextualize this chronologically, this overall subject, is, you know, like the trajectory that we're on. Natural law, like dogmas and doctrines, is unchanging, immutable. In the later 1800s, that is when the natural law, by and large, across the globe, degraded. It basically fell off the face of the planet. And if you want to nerd out on some theology, you can read some of the great popes of the late 19th century, Casti Connubii, Rerum Novarum, highly recommend it. It's a natural law exhortation on the role of the family, how every child has a right to a father and a mother under the same household, and that it's a violation of that otherwise, and everything else that goes with that. Fast forward to 1917, Our Lady of Fatima teaches us that souls are falling into hell like snowflakes. That was over a century ago, to say nothing of where we're at now, right? First wave feminism. Susan B. Anthony, she's just like, hey, I'm not all about slavery and women can vote. Great. I think we could all agree with that. That's great. She was pro-life. Then you fast forward to second wave feminism in the 60s, and it just goes down from there.
I wanted to share a story. When I used to do pro-life work, I remember I was in front of an abortion clinic, which is right in front of USC Medical Center. And I was praying there with a group of people. And I'll never forget this.
I think I was born there.
Huh?
I think I was born
Were
there.
you born at that one?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I was praying there, and I remember this girl, young girl. She looked like she was 19, maybe 18 years old. She was walking towards the clinic. She was going to enter, and I was like, I don't know how I isolated her, but I was like, hey, can I talk to you? Just give me 1 minute. That's all I'm asking. And she's like, okay, make it quick. I don't have much time. I have an appointment. And I forgot what I said to her, but the conversation went on. And then I said to her, hey, have you had breakfast? And she's like, no, I haven't. I was like, you're probably really hungry. She's like, yeah, I'm really hungry. I'm like, there's a McDonald's right here. Let's go get some food. So I took her to McDonald's, and we ate. She ate. I didn't eat anything. I was just talking as she ate. Did that on purpose. And obviously I was saying all these different things to her. And I remember her telling me, look, that's all fine and dandy, but my parents are going to kick me out. My boyfriend left me. I got nowhere to go. So I have no choice. I either have this abortion or I'm on the streets. And I told her, look, I'll take you to the clinic. I'll take you to these resource centers, these pregnancy centers. I'll make sure. And she's like, look, Javier, you're saying that now, but when the day comes, I know how this is going to go. And I'm like, I just kind of put my head down. I was like, no, this is a life. This is, a human being. Like, this is your child, and I was saying all this stuff. Anyways, well, I walk her back to the abortion clinic, and she actually gives me a hug, and she's like, thank you. But I'm going to have the abortion. Now, this is on a Saturday. The abortion clinic is not open on Sunday. So she goes in. Well, little does she know that you can't have an abortion when you have eaten you have a full belly. So now she's got a full belly. She goes back into the abortion clinic. She cannot have the abortion on that day. So that bought me time, or bought that child, God, Holy Spirit, some time to work on her. She had until Monday now, or probably Monday, to have that abortion, because she was probably going to be surprised when she went in there. And sure enough, when she went in there, she comes back out like 20 minutes later. She looks at me like, you son of a gun, and I just look at her, and I was like, here's my number. I'm praying for you. I hope, you choose life. I hope you make the right choice for your child. And she says, thank you. And she just walked away. Obviously, I never heard from her. But
Dude, Catholic, you're onto something, man. Why are we not having intense food stands out in the front of mills as the introductory touch point, right? Because we have these 10-second sound bites that we have to throw out, like, I care about you. It's a life. There's another way, right? Like, we could be 10 seconds. Like, why don't we just have this incredible top of the line food for free? And they won't even realize.
Boom.
I don't remember that being in Abby Johnson's Unplanned. We might be onto something here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You just hand out a bunch of like Oreo cookies.
Chicken wings.
No, we gotta
Chicken
go.
In Buffalo, that's what we're gonna do because that'll work.
Not buffalo wings.
And pizza.
Oh man.
Hey, we have
Oh,
a whole,
goodness.
whole large pizza here.
Mm.
Grab a slice.
There's another story I just wanted to say really quickly. This is really, really awesome because it touched me. I remember there's this woman that wanted to have an abortion, and she went into one of those mobile ultrasound, places that they had. And I don't know how they convinced her, but they say that most women who see their child in ultrasound, they will not have an abortion. So anyways, so this woman goes in there and she's like, look, there's nothing you could do or say that's going to convince me otherwise, but I promised my mom that I would come in here. So she goes in there and she sees the baby on the ultrasound and it doesn't reach her. And she says to the lady, look, if my child could speak to me right now or touch me right now, I would choose life. And as she said that, obviously this is being recorded, the little baby in her womb kind of went like this and pushed up against her tummy. Right, not that the hand came out or anything like that, but it went like that, like kind of reaching out, trying to touch her. And the woman saw that, and she lost it. She started crying, and she's like, "Forgive me," like, and she, obviously, so she had that baby. Anyways, I remember that woman telling the story at a gala that we had for a pro-life clinic. So, anyways, I just want to share that.
I have my own abortion story. Well, not abortion story, but abortion clinic story. So I don't remember which Saturday it was, but I went to one of these because pro-life guy, want to do what I can, and went to one of those I don't even know what to call it. Not a protest. We were just out there praying for people.
Yeah.
This one lady that's walking in with her boyfriend or partner, whatever he was, they were in their 20s. They were even a little bit older than I was at the time. And she goes over to us and she starts yelling at us. And yeah, I'm a murderer and this and that. And you can see the pain in her eyes as she just went in and she was like yelling at us and cursing at us. That's it.
Wow.
I'm save anyone. And here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about this message, that we can have a lot of positive stories, but sometimes it's not going to make a damn difference, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah, it is.
And you're going to feel like you're worthless. Your prayers don't matter. Crap doesn't matter because people don't give a damn about it being a human life. And we need to be ready for that because it feels like garbage. It sucks. And as right as we are about this issue, as right as Mother Teresa was about it being a poverty that we may kill our own children because they're an inconvenience, because they're in the way. Like, we need to be ready for the garbage that is humankind sometimes. Don't count me out. I can be a garbage human being at times. But I think we need to be ready for that and still do whatever the heck we can to put an end to it, because we have a huge part, men, in this battle.
And I think another thing too is that we should consider is the women that are going through this. Not to say that they're justified in making this decision, but we should be compassionate towards them. We will never go through that, and we will never be in that position because of the fact that we're men. But we need to pray for them. Pray for those women. Pray for those women, that go through this struggle of having to decide, all that pressure that they have from society, from the world, from their family, from their boyfriends, their lovers, whatever, to have this abortion. So we don't know what that's like, right? We don't know what that's like because we will never be in that position. So can we make a judgment whether it's wrong or not? Yes, we can. But we shouldn't judge the person because only God knows their intention. Only God knows what they're going through, and we should pray for them, right? You think about these women like in third world countries and they're having all these children and they have one more, they can barely feed the ones they have. Obviously they shouldn't be having sex, right? Going back to what Memo was saying, but pray for them,
Of course.
because we don't know what they're going through. And another thing I wanted to say is Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Yeah.
We threw out Our Lady of Fatima. I want to throw out Our Lady of Guadalupe because she is the one that appears pregnant, and she's the one that brings us that message of life in her womb, and reminded us, right? Reminded the Aztec people who were murdering, sacrificing millions upon millions of children to their gods, reminding them how precious life is, and how barbaric it is to kill a human being, regardless of how small, how defenseless it is, that we should always stand up for life.
And it's not masculine to hold back the truth, right? I mean, if we as men are going to cower and be afraid to engage the conversation because of how it's going to make someone feel, then you just got to go home, because that's not going to work. I mean, making it, back to my point before the studio break, making it sexy to take the Catholic position is so important. There is nothing more romantic than, and I'm going to keep it PG, but when a man and a woman get together in matrimony and you are faithful to each other, I mean, the Catholic position is you are coming to completion in the unitive act every single time. There is nothing, more romantic than that. And that is the pro-life position. I mean, who doesn't actually want that? Motherhood, right? Like, the fact that a woman, going back to Casti Connubii and Rerum Novarum, right, in the late 1800s, like this incredible, like, cry in the wilderness of what the natural law is that can never change. It's what's going to make you happy, because you're going to be at peace, right? Joy is the second fruit of the Holy Ghost. It all stems from charity, the first fruit, but you're not going to have joy in your life if you're not living in accordance with the natural law. For mothers, we have to make this attractive and let people know, hey, if you're going to be a mom and you want to decide to come home, be at home and raise your children, the very young children, at least when they really need you, in motherhood contains every single career on earth. You are the judge, you are the jury, you are the barber, you are the lawyer, you are the negotiator, you are the teacher, the educator. You are every single career there is. If you actually just take the time to meditate on that, and you can make that impact on the child's life, because it all starts with the family, right? It all starts with the family unit, the nucleus, the home. There is no society, there is no government, there are no laws. Like, we're fighting this battle of the different laws that are out there on abortion and everything else. You don't even have that if you don't have a family. So, I mean, there's just so many things that we can and should do to make the Catholic position attractive and to not be afraid to go there.
Amen.
I want to be stupid and say the executioner, but I didn't, because I'm mature.
I avoided that one because it's a little intimidating, but
I
that's
felt
there
like
too.
you were going to use it. You didn't. I felt like jumping in, but I fought the urge because I am mature. And that was the only thing I had to contribute right now. But no, seriously though, when you were saying, we have to make it sexy, it kind of made me laugh a little bit internally, but it's true. And the thing is, we don't have to do much work. All we have to do is live it. And I can't tell you how many times I brought this up in the podcast in the last couple of years, that when my family and I go out and we have a meal, whenever it's feasible, because feeding a family of 5, it's kind of expensive, but when we do, it's kind of an event. It turns heads. And there's one particular thing that I mentioned in the podcast before. You see young guys that may have bought into this culture, kind of hold the door for the family, and they feel good about it. And then I kind of turn to them, and I'm not the coolest looking guy in the world, but I have a cute wife and a bunch of cute kids. And when they're opening that door and I look at them in the eye and I'm like, thank you, gentlemen, they stand up a little bit more straight, and you can tell that family is
goals. That's what our hearts crave. We don't need to make a show. We don't need to make a spectacle out of it. Family life, the holy life, if you may, the wholesome life, like that's attractive. And everyone wants it, but not everyone had it growing up. And because of that, we're dysfunction. We have a dysfunction in our society. We have a wound in our society that Pope Benedict XVI was talking about when he was talking about life being the presupposed right that all human beings have, and to consider abortion a fundamental human right before life itself. That's a disorder in our society.
We'll return after these messages.